Right, I'll just take a moment for you to review very briefly the difference between my Garmin Fenix or Fenix 3 HR here on the left and my Fitbit Charge HR, which I'm just about to sell on Gumtree. That's why I'm doing a very quick comparison, and I'll tell you why I'm selling them. Now, over the last 14 days since I've had the two devices, I've worn them both together and I've charted everything and to compare the two. And the stats are as follows, really. Now, this thing, the Garmin, I've also used with a chest strap while I've been running, even though it's got an inbuilt HR sensor. And I've used the foot pod to try and get as accurate details as I can. Overall, the Fitbit has come out with a 10% increase on kilometers travelled, and that includes lots of half marathon runs and all sorts of things, than the Garmin. In terms of steps taken, the Fitbit reckons I've done 27% or a third more steps than the Garmin reckons. And in terms of floors climbed, the Fitbit generally puts me at about 47% more floors climbed than the Garmin, so that's half again. And again, it's difficult to assess exactly what I have done because, of course, hills run up and down and things adds to the floor climbed on both of them. And finally, in terms of sleep, the Fitbit generally accounts for about 1 hour 37 on average more sleep per night than the Garmin does. And I feel that the Garmin's closer in terms of monitoring my own sleep, though I haven't rigorously monitored that. Now, the Fitbit is in fact better than the Garmin in that the buzz, when the phone's ringing or something else like that, the only thing, of course, the only alert you get from a Fitbit with my iPhone is whether or not a call's coming in. So you don't get all the smart communication features that the Garmin does. The Fitbit just buzzes when the phone comes in, but it's a really good buzz. And the silent buzzes for the alarms are really good buzzes. I have to say that the bleep on the Garmin is worth nothing at all because you just never hear it if you're doing anything worth doing. And also that the buzz on the Fitbit isn't, on the Garmin isn't that good. I haven't missed it yet, well, not that I know of anyway, but it isn't as good as the buzz on the Fitbit. I wish they'd made the buzz a bit better on the Garmin. Who knows, maybe in time. The other major difference between the two in terms of heart rate monitors, of course, and I do apologise, but this is turned off and boxed now, but this has only got two lights on the back, whereas the Garmin has, in fact, 3 lights, 3 HR measuring lights on the back, so uses a bit more power, should be a bit more accurate. But ironically enough, when I've gone and done, so yesterday's half marathon that I ran, my maximum heart rate measured by both and my average heart rate measured by both was exactly the same. And this was even wearing a chest strap, so the Fitbit did very well there. The Fitbit is very good as a piece of average consumer tech. I've used this for some months now and I've loved it. I've absolutely loved having it and knowing what my heart rate is all through the day. This isn't on constantly. It's kind of smart, or it calls itself smart. So if you're not moving, it says, well, I'll just turn off for a while because you're not moving. Whereas this is on constant. I've loved having this. The app and the interface on this is absolutely brilliant. It turns out that this perhaps overestimates what you're doing and perhaps overestimates your calories, etc. So take it all with a pinch of salt, but used on a daily basis, of course, it's a brilliant tool. I would thoroughly recommend a Fitbit. But if you're really keen on monitoring your pace, on monitoring your route, you don't want to carry an external GPS device with you. If you want it all in one deal, then I would thoroughly recommend the Garmin for that sort of stuff. If you're a serious runner or a serious sports person, serious athlete, and you really want to get some good stats, and if you want to go deeper in terms of your cadence, in terms of your ground contact time, all that other sorts of interesting stuff, the Garmin's great for that. Go and have a look at my, I'll pop a link in the description to my review of the Garmin here. Both really good devices for their own purposes. The main reason I'm selling the Fitbit is because if I'm going to wear the Garmin, I can't wear the Garmin with another watch. I've got another watch which I really love, which I could wear the Fitbit with. But I can't wear my other watch on the Garmin, and it's all a bit of a shame. But there you go. I've decided, well, you know, the Garmin does everything the Fitbit does. I don't really need the Fitbit if I'm going to be wearing the Garmin lots. I think I'll sell it. Got a good price for it on Gumtree. So there we are. But that's the main difference between the two. They are horses for courses. They do some things the same. The Fitbit actually does one or two things better. I actually like the Fitbit app very much because it really is easy to use. The Garmin sometimes gives a bit too much, Garmin Connect. But there you go. Fitbit Charge HR, Garmin Fenix 3 HR, a very brief comparison between the two. Any questions, put them in the comments below. If you find this kind of information useful, then please do a thumbs up. And if you want to know more about it, then just subscribe and you'll see the other videos I do. And also, if you don't find it useful, then do a thumbs down and perhaps explain in the comments why you like it or why you don't. Thanks for your time.